Perfect.
What's good, Wolf Gang? Yo, man. America. Yo, what the hell's going on right now, man? So, first and foremost, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have a problem with Black Lives Matter at all, then unsubscribe. If you have a problem with the way the protests is going on and the riots, like if the first thought that comes to your mind with the riots is property damage, unsubscribe. Because right now it's getting crazy. It's getting so crazy. And I'm making this video right now because I'm tired of seeing all this shit I've been seeing. I'm tired of hearing all this shit I've been hearing. Like, it's draining to know certain people will push all lives matter. Certain people will push blue lives matter. It's like, the only reason you guys are pushing this is because it's a rebuttal to go against Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter does not mean Black Lives Matter only. It means that, yo, we need help. We're right here. We are people as well. Black Lives Matter. That's what that means. So if you are misinformed or anything, that's on you because it's been said a lot. Now, we talking about police brutality. Like, one thing I hate to hear is that not all cops are bad. What's your point? Like, of course not all cops are bad, but at this moment we don't need to hear that. And the reason being is because if one cop is doing something wrong, and then you have other cops who are not bad, witnessing these things, noticing these things, are aware of these things, and they don't step up, or they don't protest with us, or they don't speak out to the public or get that person checked, they're also bad. The ones who's actually sitting back and watching them and try to get them off the hook and noticing these things and don't say anything to the public or checking them or addressing it are also bad cops. The way these riots are going, I don't condone violence, of course, cool, but people forget to realize that peaceful protests in this country, when you are black, does not really go the way you want it to go. First thing, Martin Luther King, peaceful protests. All right, so he got assassinated in 1968, and around 1964, the Civil Rights Act was pushed. Okay, while he was doing this peaceful protest, he been spat on, he went to jail, he been beat up, but he's doing a peaceful protest. After he got assassinated, on that day, 4 days after, basically was one of the biggest riots. And that was because you assassinated somebody who stood up for something, and it was in a peaceful way, but yet his life was still taken. A bullet right to his jaw, severed part of his spinal cord. For what purpose? And now, we can't do anything right, basically, because when we sit down, Rosa Parks, that's a problem. When we kneel, Colin Kaepernick, that's a problem. Blackball. Can't even get a job again in the NFL. Better than more than half of the NFL quarterbacks right now. When we stand up in a march, Martin Luther King, that's a problem. Assassination. So, you expect us to, at what point in time are we okay to fight fire with fire? Because we've been just chilling back and still getting all this flack, still getting police brutality over and over and over and over and over. So at one point, do that boiling point just tip over? At what point? So now that we're rioting, people saying, oh, the rioting is bad, it doesn't do a good purpose, and you guys are not doing it for the fact of Floyd. The thing is, Floyd was the tip of the iceberg. All all the other black lives that was taken by police brutality for no apparent reason, that still matters. And all of that, it's like PTSD all over again. Thank God for all the cell phones that are being used, because to be honest, if it wasn't for these type of cell phones, all this type of police brutality, even how certain officers are setting up certain type of riots, putting bricks all over the area people normally riot in, or people normally protest in, and officers breaking into their own cars so you could blame it on the people who riot or loot. Officers breaking into business and looting and blame that. Like, thank God for cell phones, because people would think this is a myth. People would think this is just people are lying. So cell phones are showing actual proof, and that's a good way, because cell phone actually show what the officers did to Floyd as well. So without cell phones, a lot of this stuff would not have been possible, because the police department will lie for their own kind. They will pull strings for their own kind. So that's why this is super, super important to, when you see things going on, not only to record, but also take action to make sure that another falling minority, another fallen black person does not have to go through this whole thing again, because it's a buildup. It's a big buildup, and people are arguing like, why are they rioting? Why are they looting? You don't understand. It's a buildup. And the funny thing is, there's way more peaceful protesters than people who's actually rioting and looting. There's way more peaceful protesters, but the media show you about 2% of something and they blow it up, and people believe that they're going crazy and blowing up everything. And come on, man, like, you gotta actually be smart and actually do research. And there's a lot of footage out there that show you there's a lot of peaceful protesters, way, way, way more. But people fail to realize that. Everybody want to talk about basically the violent protests or the looting and the rioting, but this country was built off of murdering, killing, destruction, raping, all this type of stuff. This country was built off of violence. But now, for a better cause, a way better cause, we are giving you guys the taste of your own medicine, and now y'all don't want to overdose. And that was a problem. That wasn't the right thing to do. That's crazy, man. Like, the way people mindset are, the way how shit's set up, that's crazy to even think like that. Now, the riots are bad. The riots are going crazy. They're destroying the country, all this type of stuff. Oh, it's terrorism because all the protesters are destroying. Terrorism? Really? So, we're destroying these things to be heard. And to be honest, there's a lot of other race. There's police officers actually doing it, and there's video and footage of these police officers destroying other businesses, destroying their own cop car. But guess who they're gonna blame it on? The black people, and also everybody else who is also peaceful protesting and who's also rioting. So this is terrorism. But you're telling me in 2018, when my favorite football team, Philadelphia Eagles, beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, how they had so much places on fire, how they had to bring a lot of police officers out there with riot shields because they was rioting hard. They was destroying police cars. They was breaking into places. They were saying that a lot of people screaming that everything is free in Philadelphia. Everybody's going inside, looting everything. On the news the next day, they said that Philadelphia was celebrating. How was that celebration? But when we do it, it's terrorism in a way. Like, how can you actually make sense out of that? And then you have a president who will come to the podium and speak 10 seconds about Floyd and expediting the investigation, and 10 seconds about how sorry he felt for the family. Then go on for 20 minutes about sending out the National Guard and a bunch of thugs doing all this type of thing, and also sending out the armed force, and if the state don't actually use the National Guards, he will come in and send the armed force out. It's like, that shows your mindset. That shows actually what's really more important to you. 10 seconds about this situation that's really big, and then like 20 minutes about, oh, we have to stop this, we have to stop that. Like, how you expect us? So we did all the quiet protesting and stuff like this, and people don't understand it's a psychological process. If we were all just peaceful protesting right now, this would not be a big thing. This would not be a big thing. The reason why, they shut Colin Kaepernick up doing the most peaceful protesting ever. And they shut him up, blackballed him, and you hear about it once in a while. It wasn't hitting nowhere else. But now, y'all want us to be peaceful with these protests. And if we were being peaceful with these protests, this would have never gotten as big as it got. The only reason it got as big as it got because it was violent protests, and we had our foot on y'all neck the same way how y'all had y'all knee on our neck. That's the only reason why this became a big thing, because we were violently, we can say that, protesting. And when I mean violently, these officers did not get hurt. A couple officers got hurt. A couple, compared to how much black people, minorities, and unarmed people got killed by police. They got hurt in a protest. And still the police officers hurt and killed more protesters than vice versa. So yes, they got hurt in the protest. And basically, it forced everybody to understand what is going on. It put an eye in the situation. So it forced y'all to demand peaceful protests. And now we converted that, and a lot of other places was doing peaceful protests, but now we converted that into more peaceful protests, and that has the media eye now. So supply and demand. We had our foot on y'all neck to y'all demanded peaceful protests, to actually put that out there and pay attention to the peaceful protest. Because without our foot on y'all neck, like I said, like how y'all had y'all knee on our neck, basically the peaceful protest would not have mattered. We never got the clout, never got the media that it deserved, without all the crazy looting and all the crazy riots that happened. So man, to be honest, this is crazy, and people just fail to realize that racism is a huge thing, and it's not a race war. It's us against racism. There's a lot of white people rioting and looting and protesting with us. There's a lot of black people. There's a lot of Spanish people. There's a lot of Asian people. Like it's big, and it tells you that every state in this country has protesters. That's how big it is. And even every country in the world, countries across this whole world have protesters. So you know how big it is. And even K-pop fans are basically taking white supremacy, KKK, neo-Nazis, taking their hashtag that were trending for some reason, that were trending, and using that and posting. It's not funny, but they're posting fan BTS and K-pop fan-made type of pictures and GIFs. So when the white supremacy, neo-Nazi, KKK want to look at their hashtag, are they going to see a bunch of K-pop fans and K-pop groups? And that shows big. That's showing that every race is actually stepping up. That's how important, that's how real it is. So if you're on the opposite side, you see basically the whole world's actually working together now. And that's something that never really happened. So if you're seeing all of that, how can you be on the opposite side of this? Like, that's so, I'm shocked on how you could be the opposite side of this. But people will find a way. Like I said before, that I'm not trying to make this video too long, but if y'all don't agree with anything I said, if y'all don't agree with Black Lives Matter, or it seeing it rubs you the wrong way, if the first thing you think of is property damage, when black people who are always unheard, minorities who are always unheard, are finally speaking up and taking action because they want to be heard, so they're acting in this way. If property damage is the only thing that comes to your mind, then you can quickly unsubscribe. I got no problem with that at all. Because what happened with the biggest racial type of riot ever in Tulsa, when black people was beaten, and they had a big group of black businesses that's flourishing and successful. They destroyed everything. They nuked it. They beat up black people there. All of them, like every store broken into, burnt down, and nuked. What happened to that with the violence? But that's overlooked. But That's it. That's all I gotta say about this issue. Like I said, if you got any problem with anything I say, quickly unsubscribe. 1 view, 1 sub. That doesn't mean nothing to me, to be honest. Stand up for what I believe in always. But yo, Wolf out.